Today, I'm a little tardy to the party, but I just want to talk about Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon. Um, if you don't already know, they were adorable. Two little animals that were on this guy's TikTok account. I don't remember what, but he would use them. He raised Peanut ever since it was a baby. He found it. I think its mom passed away, and um, he raised it for a little bit, tried to release it back out into the wild. Came back the next day and it had like a chunk missing. He's like, cool. This obviously can't live on its own in the wild, so I'm gonna take it in as my own. So he took Peanut in, and then he has another pet. I don't know the whole story of Fred the raccoon, but he took Fred the raccoon in too. And the man who took them in, he owns an animal sanctuary. So he started making content with these animals. His account really took off, and um, they started making money. Like his account started getting a ton of views, and he used the funding from his TikTok account that to fund his animal sanctuary that he owns. And the two stars of this account were Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon. But a couple days ago, some fucking absolute Scrooges came in, took Peanut, took Fred, fucking killed him. Dude, they killed a little squirrel and a raccoon. Just padding their stats, getting some kills, just killing some fucking household pets. That's terrible. Horrible. And the reason that they did it was that you're not allowed to have wild animals as pets in New York, which, sure, makes sense, yeah. You need a special permit for it. The guy didn't have the permit, which kind of stinker, kind of sour grapes that he didn't have the permit, and all this happened because of that. But he didn't have the permit, and the some fucking real peaches of people, some real just lovey-dovey people, saw his account and reported him to the Department of Environmental Conservation in the state of New York. And they stopped by his house with like six people. They basically got the fucking the team from Monsters Inc. When there's like they find a sock on the back of someone, they send in that hazmat team to go take care of it. That's what they sent. That's what they sent to go get Peanut and Fred. So they take Peanut and Fred, take them out of the home, and in the process, Peanut ends up biting one of the people. Understandable. Understandable. They're taking him out of his home. It's a little tiny squirrel. They're taking the squirrel out of its home. Out of its home. It's probably scared. Probably scared. Because it's just been this dude's pet. It's a pet. Like if a bunch of dudes in hazmat suits came in and fucking tried to take your dog away, your dog would probably bite them. Your pet would, your cat, whatever pet you have, would probably try and fight back because it doesn't want to be taken. And because Peanut bit, got his get back, got his licks in, um, they had to test for rabies, which, whatever, it takes like 2 weeks, I think, for an animal infected with rabies to die. So, one, there's like no chance they had rabies in the first place. They've been this dude's pet. Rabies is super hard for pets to get unless they are bitten by a wild animal with rabies. But animals with rabies, they only live like 2 weeks, and you have to. And generally, it's like you have to get bitten by one. Like it's like bodily fluids, blood, saliva, whatever has to get in like in a cut or whatever is usually how it's transferred. Like rare cases, in rare cases, I think it's been documented to where it can be like aerosolized, but that's just been in like bat caves where there's a whole other host of diseases because bats are filthy animals. Um, but they had to test for rabies, which sure, sure, even though they 100% didn't have it, it's just some dude's pet. They've been living with him their whole lives. He doesn't. I don't think he like lets them roam around outside at night. They're just this dude's pets. And so they had to freaking. And the only way to test for rabies is to kill the animal. So even though Fred didn't bite him, dude, he got the axe too. They killed him too. Even though it was only Peanuts, you think, oh cool, they only need to test Peanut. No, they freaking killed. They're already killing Peanut. Why not kill Fred too? And so they killed them both. Surprise, surprise. Neither of them had rabies. It's just in. The sky is blue. Who would have thunk? Neither of them had rabies. They weren't foaming at the mouth. They're these dudes' pets that would be on TikTok all the time. Um, and yeah, they just killed this guy's pets. Also, the pets were funding. They were like the main source of income on his TikTok. They were helping fund an animal sanctuary. They basically went into an orphanage and said, "Screw you guys," and took all their money. They took dude. They're It's just crazy to me that the Department of Environmental Conservation would essentially kill funding for a sanctuary or a stream of income for an animal sanctuary. Like, how big of just Scrooges do you have to be to do that? And not to mention the people who reported them. What's going on in your life? What lemons are you sucking on? Where you report a TikTok of a squirrel named Peanuts and a raccoon named Fred, and you report that to the government. Thanks. You must be fun at parties. But at least some good news. They're suing. The owners of Peanut and Fred are suing the Department of Environmental Conservation, the DEC of New York. Hopefully they win that case. I wish the best to them. I hope they win. I really do, because that is a tough pill to swallow. That really sucks for them. But hopefully they win. Hopefully he can get the right permits and get a new Peanut and new Fred. But I don't know, just real sour situation in general. Yeah, that's about it.